Welcome to the Irish Pagan School podcast. Your hosts are authors and co-founders of the Irish Pagan School here in County Waterford, Ireland, Laura O'Brien and Jon O'Sullivan. Fáilte.
Who actually is the Dagda? Well, Dagda Books Fáilte. Hi, hello, and welcome. Jon O'Sullivan, the Irish Pagan School. And that is a question, not so easily answered. So as much as I'd love to honour the ancient Irish traditions of saying ni answer, not hard to say, this actually is a little bit hard to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go back to basics and try and just get to the very core, nice and simple. Who is the Dagda? The Dagda is a multifaceted god when it comes to the Irish deities. And so we're talking about specifically the gods of Ireland. The Dagda is an Irish god of Ireland. He covers a lot of particular themes, but those most strongly associated with him is about abundance, fertility, nature, and the natural order of things. The other world, as in the ancient Irish otherworld, on Sail Ella, he has authority and control really in that aspect. Music, he has authority over life and death, but also in one particular story where he gets the power over life and death, he tells us himself that he has authority over land, sea, sun, and moon. And so these are the core things that we see around the Dagda in his interactions. But he himself, as a god, the other gods of the Tuatha Dé Danann refer to him as their god of druidry. So when we're getting into the conflict, there's big battle at the second battle of Moytura, and there's all of this promised effort and energy brought by the other druids, the sorcerers, the cupbearers. Everyone promises what effort they're going to bring, but the Dagda steps in and says, everything you've promised, leave it to me. I got that. And in that story, at that point, Nuada, the king of the Tuatha Dé Danann, or well, the once king of the Tuatha Dé Danann, refers to him as the Dagda, which is the goodly god or the goodly one, not because he's morally good, it's because he's good at everything. He is capable of everything. So when we explore who he is, that is a facet that we need to understand. It's who he is in relation to the others around him, in relation to the other gods, the other Tuatha Dé Danann in Ireland. He is a warrior. He goes into battle time and again. In the first conflict at Moytura, he personally charges the enemy for Bullock and opens up room for 150 people to come after him into the breach he personally causes. He is a chieftain. He is king. After Lugh is demised, he steps in and rules as king in Ireland for 80 years. But he's not just a king. He's not just this druid. He's not just this powerful warrior. He's also a family figure. He is the husband of the Morrigan, the goddess of poetry, prophecy, sovereignty, and battle. He is a father. So he has children himself. One of his names, his epithets, is Allahar, which is great or ample father. And so we have stories of him pretty much being a big dad to his children. But he's not just his own children, he's also a foster dad. In some of the other stories, Manannán MacLír is said to be a foster son of the Dagda. So all of this gives us an insight into who he is. And there is so much information around him that I have taught many classes on him at the Irish Pagan School, which is my area. This is the deity I choose to explore for my own Irish paganism and spirituality, because there is so many aspects to him. There is so much that we can learn by looking at the narratives of what he's capable of and how he interacts with others in all of those stories. But the fact that the other Irish gods, the other deities of Ireland, refer to the Dagda as their god of druidry, the fact that when push comes to shove, the other Irish gods rely on the Dagda, knowing that he's going to have their back, knowing that he's going to be there for him, really gives us a great insight into the Dagda being a god that's good for anything. He's a god that is good for any calling, anything you want to contact him for, you can engage and seek the Dagda to support you in, or even if it's just you want to read those stories to find inspiration around him. He is someone that you will really be able to look at from multiple different facets and gain an insight on for himself, for the Tuatha Dé Danann, for the people of Ireland, for the landscape of Ireland. He ruled from a place called Uisneach, which is said to be the belly button of the island. Other kings previously had ruled from Tara, the hill of Tara in County Meath, but the Dagda moved and ruled his kingship from Uisneach in this belly of Ireland more so, which shows an interesting perspective on the fulfillment of the needs of the people within the island. He is and holds to the ancient rules of hospitality. He's personally bound by them. When people come seeking hospitality, you treat them as kin. They're given safety, security, and at least one night of food and drink. But it's not just, oh well, you give them whatever's going or leftovers. You treat them as if they're family. They're family for that time that they're with you. And all of the rules of hospitality spoke about neutrality. There was no Tua or there was no tribes or tribal circumstances in certain locations in Ireland known as Bruas. So him holding to the rules of hospitality meant that there was always this space made for anyone to come and seek, for anyone to engage, for anyone to have a hearty meal and be sustained. He is holder of one of the four treasures of the Tuatha Dé Danann, this cauldron that never went empty. So it was said at the cauldron that no company would go from it unsatisfied. And that, more than anything else, really shows the nature of the Dagda in so many ways. But coming to him, you will find satisfaction. You will find some aspect to engage with, to explore, and to grow from in your own pursuit of Irish paganism. So, who is the Dagda? Not exactly the answer, but maybe this video has given you some insight or some kind of perspective and maybe questions that you want to explore and go further. If you'd like to know a lot more, I have a completely free class at the Irish Pagan School. It is called The Dagda, Domestic Deity and Hearth Hero, because he really is the hero of every hearth. You will find it over at the Irish Pagan School, and it's Dagda Hearth. I'll put a link to it down the bottom. And until next time, thank you very much for dropping by. Look after yourself and take care. Slán.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a positive review in your podcast listener. Then head over to irishpaganschool.com and enroll in one of our free or paid courses. Slán go fóill, and we will see you next time.